Welcome to Chefs in the City. I'm Ann Fisher, along with my co-hosts, Steve Stover and Rich Terapak. As always, great to have these guys. Lawbird has been named among the 12 James Beard semifinalists for Best Bar in the Nation. The Brewery District
in the
Cocktail...
nation.
In the nation.
It's 20, actually. Top 20.
Top 20. Okay, good
Yes.
to get everything fixed up there. The Brewery District Cocktail Bar was among 3 Central Ohio businesses to make the cut this year. We've already spoken with Avishar Barua of Agni and Joya's and Dan the Baker founder, Dan Riesenberger, to celebrate their honors. So you can check out those previous episodes if you want. And today, Annie Pierce, who with her husband Luke Pierce co-owners of Lawbird, joins us. Annie Pierce, welcome.
Thank you.
How did the name Lawbird come out? I heard it's a secret.
It's a deep, dark secret.
Okay, well, I just got that one out of the way. Okay.
It's near the courthouse. No, I don't.
So before we went on the air, we were talking about the fact that you have broad appeal, that your demographic kind of spans the legal drinking ages,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So talk about the vibe. Before we talk about the drinks, let's talk about the vibe and why that matters and what matters.
One of the things that we really strived to do when we opened the place was make it a reflection of Luke and myself. We're industry kids by trade. Hospitality is our love language. So we really wanted to make sure that it was as welcoming as possible to anyone who wanted to be there. A number of people in both my family and Luke's family don't drink. So one of the things that's been so important to us is our non-alcoholic program. I would put us up there with the best NA program in the state, easy. And it's so important so that everyone gets to have a great experience. It's not like, oh, sorry, here's your Diet Coke, with a cherry in it. Right, yeah. But if you come in and you want a vodka soda, guess what? We'll make you a great vodka soda. Or you want a beer, we've got that too. So we just really want to make sure everyone feels so welcome and so taken care of, and that they know that we're so grateful that they're in our space.
Great.
Steve, you were a recent
We were
visitor.
there last
Yes.
Thursday as part of our anniversary jubilee, and
Month long.
Your current menu is the menu of modern art.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
It's fantastic. It was sort of an idea that Luke had. I always joke that he's the brains and I'm the booze. He's the business side and I'm the booze side. So he really helps with kind of the big picture things, and then I work with our team to execute the menu and really flesh it all out. So he had this idea, and it was, let's make drinks based on pieces of modern art. And the menu is about 50-50. We had the drink first and found the art to match, or we had the art first and then the drink kind of came to life around it, which was just a really fun experience and a fun time to coach our staff through that kind of creative process and be involved in really conceptualizing something.
Yeah, my wife Mary had the Mark Rothko, and it looked just like the picture.
Oh, awesome.
Which was just incredible. I was Monet.
Monet, yes.
Which involved gin.
Yes, among other things.
When the museum ought to hire you guys for a party. I mean, it would be so great. They had a big Rothko exhibit a couple of years ago.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
And Watershed has started doing that cocktail competition annually at the museum, which that's sort of the premise.
Yes.
Each bar picks a piece of art that inspires them, and then they make the cocktail and present it. Lawbird did take home the title the first year.
Oh, congrats.
So we did not have the staff to defend our title last year.
What was the painting?
We did the woman with the green face, and she has the red hat. She's kind of the.
It's a Picasso.
Yeah, she's like the mascot for. That was one of my little sister's all-time favorite pieces.
Yeah.
So yes.
What are some other things on the menu?
Ooh, okay. Honestly, this is the best menu we've ever done, and I just adore it so much. The Apotheosis is the Salvador Dali piece. Chose one of his lesser-known pieces of art, and then did a pretty intensive development. We actually created our own raspberry white cardamom chartreuse.
Wow.
Whoa.
to build that cocktail around. The Circles in a Circle is just this really luscious, beautiful
Kandinsky,
martini, and I am a sucker for martinis,
Me
so
too.
we're always going to have one of those on the
Wheat Filled
menu.
with Cypresses by Van Gogh. I have that on my TV.
Your kind of background.
Screensaver. Yeah.
So that one is really lovely. It's very earthy. It's very spirit forward, but we added in some bright. We used a lighter Japanese whiskey. We used Calvados, which is an aged French apple brandy. A little bit of lemon oil and cypress bitters. So it kind of has all of these earthy sort of tones, but is really bright and lovely. So
Very creative.
Yeah.
It sounds terrific.
How do you? Let's talk about being a semifinalist for the prestigious James Beard Award as best bar in the United States. Is that something you seek out? I mean, how does that even work?
This was sort of our first time experiencing the process. This is only the third year they've had the Outstanding Bar category.
Surprising, kind of.
It is one of the newer categories. And you usually, I believe, you are nominated. We worked in conjunction with Experience Columbus this year, knowing that we had already been nominated, but they did suggest that we self-nominate as well. So there's no cap to the number of times you can be nominated, and the number of times does not impact whether or not you move on to the next round.
Okay.
We had just heard some inside baseball that if you nominate yourself, there's sort of less fact-checking for the staff to do. They feel like, okay, it's coming from the horse's mouth.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So they can kind of make some choices that way. I'm not sure. So
Speed the process.
We did submit a nomination, a self-nomination, but also a number of other community individuals.
And this is
as
not
well.
just an area like Ohio.
Right.
Like the
All
Great
the
Lakes, yeah.
Shefflins are
Right.
smaller areas.
Yes.
But this is top 20 in the United States.
Yes. And it goes to 5 on April 2nd.
Which is in just a few days. We'll know.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
getting excited?
I am. I'm very nervous, excited. I would be lying if I said I wasn't kind of anxious about it. So we chose to launch our next menu on that day so that I have a bunch of other things to keep me busy.
And
so
what will the new menu?
we're doing our Japanese pop-up. So we're working with the House of Suntory to do a sakura, a cherry blossom festival pop-up.
Great. Yeah.
So we decorate the whole space. It's sort of like dressing the bar up for Halloween. We've designed this stunning menu that really focuses on Japanese spirits and the delicacy of Japanese flavors. And so we'll run that for the whole month of April.
Tell the folks that are listening to this where you are and how long you've been there.
Yes, so we're located at 740 South High Street in the Brewery District. We've been open for just over 5 years now. We actually opened
During
4
COVID.
months 4 months and 1 week before the shutdown, which
gosh.
last week was the 5-year anniversary
Yeah.
of the shutdown.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of collective PTSD and disassociations, but here we are, still doing it.
You're down the street from Avishar Barua's Agni.
Agni.
and
Just a couple doors.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we talked to him a few weeks ago, and we talked about. He said you guys were planning maybe a joint event.
We love Avishar. We've loved him forever. When Luke and I first started dating, we went up to the original Veritas in Delaware all the time when he was still running the kitchen. So we've always had kind of like a nerdy little friendship relationship. So anytime we can work with him, we're always like, yeah, let's do it. So we're trying to figure out a little neighborhood something.
Can we
'Cause
get
there's
a
lot.
Dora there?
Right, honestly,
Yeah.
you've got Chapman's down the street, and we've got Antiques on High, and we've got Cobra. That is
It's a nice place to
really-
walk around.
Yeah, it's really turning into kind of a for Columbus, by Columbus little gem of an area.
That
So
would be
we
a
love it.
good one for Columbus Food Adventures.
Yes, yes. Well,
Another
actually, we're doing a private cocktail class for them next week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The ingredients, everything that you do. You said that your husband is usually working on that piece of it.
he works on the
Or-
business side. So
Okay.
he really runs and makes the business happen. He loves to creatively contribute when we come up with
Okay.
like menu themes. But the drinks themselves are usually myself and
You're
our
the booze.
staff. I'm the booze.
Yeah, that's
Exactly,
right. Okay, now I get what you're saying. And were you trained? Were you formally trained or
No,
what?
I went to school for political science and anthropology.
So we could talk politics too.
Yeah, we could, although I really don't want to right now.
That's a
We
downer.
talked
that's
tariffs. in the
Yeah,
last
exactly.
one.
That's going to impact us too. So, no, I come from a family of eaters and bakers, and Luke does too. And so this has kind of always been, like I said, hospitality is our love language. And when I kind of figured out you could be just as creative behind the stick, it stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, talk about the food.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're all about the food.
Yeah, we do. We do just kind of snacks and small plates. The idea is, things that keep people drinking, but we
Something
make
salty. Yeah.
right. Yes, we make all of it.
There are about 10 items on the menu.
And it's just sort of small plates. We do sort of a rotating Chex Mix, which has been actually really fun and kind of creative. Right now, it's a tandoori style Chex Mix with dried apricots and sesame sticks and
yummy.
things like that. We always have a fancy hot dog. We do a loaded Wagyu hot dog. We make hummus. We have
It's like only $5.
the hot dog's $10, but still on hot dog night you can get 2 for $7. So Wednesdays at
On
Lawbird.
Wednesdays.
So we just want fun things that you could make a meal out of it, but we're really a cocktail destination. So
Where do you find your bartenders? How do you hire?
they find us usually. It's really interesting, not to date myself, but kids these days. No, it's the industry has changed so much with COVID, especially, and a number of active bartenders now really missed some integral formative years of working during those COVID years. So, some of our staff that might be, say, 26 or so, they really missed those first couple kind of crazy, chaotic, get your feet under you kind of years because of COVID. So we work really hard on our training. Our biggest motto with training is that we serve people, not cocktails. So hospitality and fluidity and teamwork are number one for us, and we don't ever try to be gatekeepers, but it's once you can do the floor in your sleep, then we'll start your bar training, because that's a whole nother level of we need you to do all the things you were doing,
So server
and we're
first,
adding this
and
on
then mixer. Yeah, okay.
so,
Interesting.
and it's some of that is dependent on need and staff, but we've had some really incredible iterations of our team. A young woman that used to work for us actually just got hired by a bar with shapes for a name in London, which is one of the world's 50 best bars.
Wow.
And she came and told me, and
How proud
I
you
almost
must
cried.
be.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
That's impressive.
So that's just really one of those things that that's what we want. We want to be the kind of either last place that people work before they go open their own place, or before they go off and do insanely grand things like working at one of the world's best bars.
Any relationship with Columbus State and the program they have?
The culinary school?
No, it doesn't. Why am I absolutely blanking on?
Patrick.
Carmen Mitchell?
Yeah, why did I just blank Cameron Mitchell's name? Doesn't he kind of have a lock on those? The rumor is that he sort of
Well, he built the building.
first dibs, right? Okay.
Well, interestingly, Patrick Allen
Who we had on the last episode.
The
Yeah.
reason I brought it up. Yeah, he's
wanted to start a wine program, and we got him together with Josh Wickham, who's the head of the program, and he was all in. So maybe
I know. I've actually been thinking about, we started this class series that Luke and I teach together every month, and I was visiting my best friend who lives in Austin, and long story short, basically we got to talking about what would a real sort of bar education or curriculum truly look like, because one of the things that you have to do so much on your own is all of this research, this history research. And, when we teach our classes this month, for example, it's on the history of chartreuse and sort of its evolution and its enduring staying power. Well, the internet is not really a place for facts anymore.
So you can trust.
Right.
There's facts, but
But
we
you
all
gotta
clearly
do
are all
your
entitled
work.
to our own these
Exactly.
days.
how about
fact or fiction.
Chat GPT?
But I always double check ChatGPT, because again, if I'm in some semblance of kind of authority, I need to make sure I'm telling the speaking the
Lawyers
truth.
have learned that the hard way. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. But I would love to do some sort of kind of bar history curriculum, creation of the products themselves. And, for example, the spread of quinine, one of the main ingredients in tonic, really kind of goes hand in hand with the spread of the
Malaria.
British Empire and
Skirmish.
malaria.
Right.
So you kind of look at those historical
Interesting.
factors and okay, well, there were literally quinine plantations spread throughout the British Empire.
realm, yeah.
Right, exactly. So that's the kind of side that I love. So it's using my college degree. So
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
you're welcome,
Well,
Mom.
Columbus State does have a really cool mixology lab that goes unused. So maybe
Goes
we
unused.
should.
Oh,
Maybe
all
we should
right.
get you guys.
Yeah.
Another local thing is all the local distilleries, and how do you? What's your relationship with them and what they do?
We do. I've loved and worked with Watershed since its inception.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier,
Same
yeah.
with Middle West Spirits. I have a very long-standing relationship with them. I actually used to run Brothers Drake Meadery right next door when they,
right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
So we love the local stuff just as much as we love the weird esoteric stuff. For us, it's what's the right product for what we're trying to do. So we try to be very kind of open-minded and make sure that we're really picking the right spirit or the right product for what we're trying to create or showcase. So
Being named one of the 20 James Beard semifinalists for Best Bar in the Nation, have you had anyone reaching out to you from different places interested in hearing about your story? I'm wondering if it changes, it made any changes for you.
a little bit. I mean, we get to do things like this, which is pretty fabulous. We have had a little uptick in sort of press and things like that. We're just excited because we already have really fun things kind of programmed and ready to go. Yeah. So we feel really good about what's coming down the line regardless. Like I said, I chose to launch a menu on a release day just so I'm very busy and distracted in case. Well, really either way. But it's been lovely. We're getting so many new guests, and some of that I believe is from James Beard, and some of that is just we've been here a while now, and so it's about you see kind
word's
of
getting out.
turnover,
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, kind of guest refreshing and things like that.
What's the capacity of the bar? How
Seated 50.
okay. Big enough?
On weekends, we definitely do kind of cocktailing. Like we'll get orders for people who are standing, who are waiting for seats. We have a small patio that seats about 12 out front. So we're a little mom and pop. It's nothing massive, but it's very cute.
It may become massive. Bigger face.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Well, Annie Pierce, thanks so much for joining us today.
pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Annie Pierce with her husband Luke Pierce co-own Lawbird, which is, as I mentioned a couple times now, among the 20 James Beard semifinalists for Best Bar in the Nation. By the time you hear this, we'll know if they made it or not to the top.
5 finalists.
Top five
top five.
finalists. So, stand by for that. In the meantime, thanks for joining us for another episode of Chefs in the City. If you want to learn more about who we are and what we do and what our philosophy is for the show, go back to the first 1 or 2 episodes. I think we kind of lay it all down for you. Check it out. Share it with your friends, please. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, and you can find us on Facebook at Ann Fisher's Chefs in the City. And also, our email is chefsinthecity111@gmail.com. Questions, comments, give us a jingle there. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Boxland Media. Think big.